Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our community conversations with the partnership. I'm Lamisha Staten, Community Outreach Manager here at the Partnership for Children. I see we're about 10:58 this morning, getting started just a little bit early today. But we hope all of you are doing well and enjoying this beautiful Friday morning as we're preparing for Thanksgiving. And truly, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, we are so grateful and thankful for each of you who continue to stand by us and stick with us as we continue to bring you community resources week to week. And throughout the past few months, we've continued to bring several resources and try to bring resources to you to help your family as we all move through this COVID-19 pandemic together as one family. We are so very grateful this morning to have NC Pre K with us. Here at the partnership, we have a wonderful NC Pre-K team that is led by Brenda Mathis. She's our NC Pre-K director. And then we also have our NC Pre-K specialist on with us this morning, Ms. Demetria Craven, as well as Ms. Robin Armstrong. We're just so glad to have them. We know parents from time to time will have questions about pre-K, especially during this time of remote learning and learning what your options are around pre-K. So we have the team. They were willing to come on today and excited about being able to come on and bring updates to you about where pre-K stands right now and answer your questions. I do want to encourage you, if you have questions that you would like to ask our team, please put them in the comments section on Facebook. We're monitoring the Facebook page right now. And we also have a staff person, Kim Radcliffe, who's watching the comment section. As we receive your questions, we'll be sure to ask the team those questions as they are received. So just feel free to put any questions that you might have into the comments and we'll try to address them live while we're on Facebook this morning. So again, welcome, and I'll turn it over to our NC Pre-K team to get us started. And I believe our first person up, well, we'll look at the agenda really quick. Let's take a look at the agenda and what you're going to learn today. We're going to talk about eligibility requirements for NC Pre-K, as well as the application process. You'll learn about in-person learning and remote learning and your options for both. You'll find out more about what our remote learners are doing in the classroom and our teachers are doing. You'll also learn a bit more about the curriculum that is used in NC Pre-K and teacher credentials, which are amazing. You'll get a chance to learn about that and also about the upcoming application season for 2021-2022. And we'll have a listing of frequently asked questions to review with you as well. All right, so we'll turn it over to our first presenter this morning.
Good morning, Facebook family. I am Demetria Craven, NC Pre-K Specialist with Partnership for Children here in Guilford County. And we're going to talk about the eligibility requirements for NC Pre-K. First, your child must be 4 years old by August 31st, 2020. We accept applications all year, and the school year will end in June of 2021. NC Pre-K is an income-based program. The chart below is what we use for our income requirements. The first number is the family size and then the income limit. You can find our full chart on our website, www.guilfordchildren.org. Your child is also eligible if they have one of the following: limited English proficiency, an identified disability, a chronic health condition, or developmental or educational need, and a parent who is active duty military or was injured or killed in the military. Next slide. For the application process, each family needs to submit an application. Applications can be printed from our website or completed online at www.guilfordchildren.org. Each family must submit all required documents before the child's application is considered complete. A list of the required documents is included within the NC Pre-K application. Families may choose up to 4 sites. Classrooms are located at the following sites: several Guilford County schools, private child care centers, and Guilford Child Development Head Start locations. All sites are listed within the application. We encourage families to select 4 locations.
Good morning, everyone. This is Brenda. I'm happy to be with you today. So we're going to talk about in-person learning and remote learning because, in the days of COVID, we've had to make a lot of changes, but the kids are doing well. So you can, if you want to choose in person, you can do in person. Guilford Child Development is all remote until January 2021. And Guilford County Schools and the private childcare sites have children in person and some remote. And that's called a hybrid class. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. The school day is 6.5 hours, and most start at 8 and end at 2:30. There are some that start at 7:45 and end at 2:15. When your child is in remote learning, they're going to have one live remote session each day. And this is if they're in a hybrid class. And what we mean by hybrid is that there's children that are in the classroom and there's some that will log on to do the remote session. So the live session in a hybrid class is once a day. It's going to be at least 30 minutes. Sometimes it has been longer in talking to our teachers. They're going to send you a link to join. They're going to do it once a day, as I've already said, and your times may vary. They try to give opportunities for everybody to participate. Monday could be at 9, Tuesday maybe at 1, and so on. The teachers, and that will be a consistent set schedule. So when the teacher sets it, Mondays will always be at 9. So it's not going to change by day. The teacher will complete a check-in once a week with the family. This is either a phone call, a text, an email, or it could be a live session. And when we talk about live sessions, it can be Zoom, it can be Google Classroom, it can be WebEx. There's all kinds of platforms that the teachers are using. And this section is talking about children that are in person and remote learners.
Brenda, just wanted to ask a quick question. For parents that are concerned about health, and safety precautions in the classroom, and any precautions that the teachers are taking to keep their children safe, can you just address that for a moment with parents that might be, just a little weary or concerned about choosing the in-person learning option?
Sure. So it's not a requirement for the children to wear a mask, but we have several children who are wearing a mask. So it's not a requirement though. If the parent wants the child to wear a mask, they can definitely do that. Teachers are wearing masks and face shields most of the time. They definitely have on a mask at all times. When they're dealing with breakfast, because we do provide breakfast and lunch, they're wearing gloves. Children are washing their hands, and they're making sure that they're washed for 20 seconds. Either the teacher or the teacher assistant stands there at the sink and they sing a little song and make sure that they're doing that for 20 seconds because that's what CDC recommends. But all the staff at every NC pre-K class is wearing a mask, and most of the time they have face shields on too. Okay, so this one is about remote learners. So if we're talking about Guilford Child Development, and there's some other circumstances sometimes that there'll be a remote learner only. So for Guilford Child Development, they're remote until January. There are times when a site may have to close for up to 2 weeks. We've had a few sites that had to close because of the COVID-19, not necessarily in the pre-K room, but if there's other classrooms at the site, and we follow whatever the Guilford County Health Department is sharing with the sites to do. So when that happens, they're considered fully remote. So if your child is going in person and the site has to close, some of them have closed for 7 days only. Some have had to close for 2 weeks. If they are in person and then they have an outbreak and they have to close for 2 weeks, then they're considered fully remote during that time frame. So for fully remote during those times, and what Guilford Child Development is doing currently, it's a little different. They have 2 live remote sessions a day. So parents have choice whether the 2 times instead of just having 1. Children can participate in one of those live sessions. The times will still be consistent to accommodate family schedules. So it could be Monday at 9 and then at 1. So it's still different times, and they usually have 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and whatever's best for the family or the caregiver of the children when they're doing fully remote whatever's best time for them. And the teacher will send the link to the family weekly. And the live session is still 30 minutes and it can last longer. One teacher told me they did a project and it lasted an hour, but the kids were so involved and everybody enjoyed it. So it just depends on the lesson they're doing. Then for the check-in, which we've talked about that with the hybrid learners, it's 2 times a week. So that's a phone call, a text, an email, or it could be a live session too. So for remote, they get 2 times a day to log into the session. And a lot of times, if it's Robin's going to talk about the curriculum, so I won't get into that. But the remote, when they're fully remote, they still have 2 times. And if they wanted to log in both times, there's nothing that says that they can't do that. So if the family wanted to do an hour, log into both remote sessions, they could do that too. Okay. Next slide.
Good morning. My name is Robin Armstrong, and thank you, Brenda, for that introduction into curriculum and teacher credentials. Every class of NC Pre-K uses the creative curriculum. There are 60 objectives, and your child will learn that they will learn about during the school year. Every family receives a list of objectives from the curriculum so that you'll know what your child is working on. The creative curriculum uses studies to cover all of the objectives. There are numerous studies in the creative curriculum. Teachers use studies based on children's interest. The ball study is one of the most popular studies. And I'm going to show you a picture of the ball study guide. And inside of this study, children will learn about balls, and there's a parent letter inside that will give you an idea of what children should be using and what should be focused on in the classroom. And it also gives you ideas on things that you can do at home with them as they go through that study. The ball study is one of the most popular, and the teachers have lots of materials to accompany the study. The class will complete 1 study approximately each month. So every NC Pre-K lead teacher has a bachelor's degree in birth to kindergarten, BK. They may also have a bachelor's degree in a related field and take classes to obtain their BK. They are licensed by the Division of Child Development and Early Education and the NC Department of Public Instruction. Every NC Pre-K teacher assistant has an associate's degree in early childhood. They may also have an associate's degree in a related field and take classes to obtain an early childhood degree. Now we want to talk about getting ready for the 2021-2022 school year application season, and we're excited. We will be taking applications for the 2021-2022 school year beginning Wednesday, January the 6th, 2021. The application will be online at www.guilfordchildren.org, and you may also print our paper application from our website. We're also going to try and put paper applications at our office site in the foyer as you walk in where the drop-off slot is located. We can also mail you a paper application or just email one of the NC Pre-K any one of the NC Pre-K specialists or the director. You can contact with information will be provided on the last slide. So our contact information is on the last slide. Paper applications will be provided in the entry, as I just stated a little earlier, way of our office, which is located at 500 West Friendly Avenue, Suite 100, Greensboro, North Carolina, 27401. Your child must be 4 years of age by August 31st, 2021 to be eligible for our 2021-2022 school year. And then you can check our Facebook page at Guilford Kids for updates about the application season.
So here we have frequently asked questions. Um, and I know one was already presented, how are North Carolina pre-K children being kept safe through COVID-19 in the NC pre-K classrooms? So each program has received a copy of the public health toolkit, and it has requirements and recommendations for drop-off, the arrival procedure, monitoring for symptoms, returning to childcare, how to prevent the spread. It talks about face coverings and other recommendations that are required by the programs to keep the children safe. As Brenda mentioned before, washing hands for 20 seconds. They do a rotation of the toys because they have to wash and sanitize the toys that the children use when they're working in the areas of the classroom. And they also do temperature checks. So only the children are allowed into the programs and the teachers. Parents drop them off at the door and sign them in, and they have a whole procedure that they do when checking in the children.
So the next question a lot of parents ask is remote learning still an option for my NC pre-K child? And yes, remote learning is still an option. And if parents choose to do so, you can still do remote. And then the next question the parents ask is, what is the process for online screening for families that the Guilford County Schools as a choice on their application? Guilford County Schools sends the family either a letter or an email with instructions for the online ASQ or the developmental screening. This must be done before the child's application is complete with GCS. This is required for families who has a GCS school choice on their application.
That's right. So the next one is, how are placements conducted? So as you saw, we began taking applications in January. And it's not a first come, first serve. We served 2,196 children. So you apply starting in January, which is a good thing to do. Then you know your application's complete. There's a committee. We have an NC Pre-K committee who deems the numbers of children at each location. And that they do that every year. And they meet in May to make that determination. And once that's approved, then if you have a first choice that's private or Head Start, you would get placement offered in May. Then if you've done your online ASQ screening for your child, if you had a Guilford County Schools choice, their placements begin in usually around June, mid-June to the 1st of July. So placements are done really based on the site you choose. So I'll give you an example. If you were to choose Child Care Network on Friendly Avenue, they have 3 classes currently. If they have that next year, that's 54 children. So the computer will sort by number based on criteria. So if your child does not speak English, or they have a chronic health condition, or if they have an IEP with the school system, or receiving any kind of special services such as speech privately, military, all of those, they get points for that, and it puts them higher than somebody who would just be income eligible. So there's a lot of things that go into placements, and that's why we encourage you to pick at least 4 choices. And you don't have to go close to your house. You can go to close to grandma, granddaddy's, any family member that's going to pick up your child. So we don't restrict you to just picking choices in your area. If my family is over incomes, should we still apply? Yes. We have families that are over income and they don't have any of the other criteria to be eligible. The federal government has what's called Title I funds, and every state gets Title I funds. And we serve a little over 300 children with Title I funds. They would still be in an NC Pre-K class. They would just be paid with Title I funds. So they would still have a qualified teacher, same curriculum and everything else. So if you're over income, please apply, and you do stand a chance to be served. Okay.
Doesn't appear that there are any questions right now in our comment section, but I do want to just add a note that we will rebroadcast this presentation later on this evening on our Facebook page. And as parents have questions, feel free to just let us know. The email addresses for our pre-K staff will be provided. You can also message us on Facebook, and we'll make sure that any questions get to the NC Pre-K team. But you guys have provided a wonderful overview of NC Pre-K this morning, and assuring parents that all safety precautions have been taken to make sure that the children are staying safe during this time of COVID-19. And we want to give a shout out to the staff here this morning, as well as to all of the NC Pre-K directors and teachers and parents that have been working so hard over the past several months together, right, you guys? It's been a challenge, but everybody is working together to move through this. When you think so?
Yes.
Yes.
And one
And we'd
thing
like to-
that, go ahead, Robin.
We'd like to thank you, Lamisha, for being a wonderful moderator throughout this Facebook Live. So thanks so much for your time.
One thing that I would share that state is doing, the Division of Child Development Early Education, for all the child care sites that have infants all the way up to pre-K, they have been shipping gloves and masks and sanitizers, thermometers, all of those kind of things. The state has provided that for the child care centers, and they've been very appreciative to receive all those supplies too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We have some wonderful community partners and folks out there that have donated items for our centers, like you said, for the teachers. Thank the state for their support, state of North Carolina, and just everyone that has just been so great at pulling together during this time. We definitely want to encourage anyone, please share to our viewers. Feel free to share this video on your Facebook pages, share this information out. You see the contact information for Brenda Mathis, our director of NC Pre-K, Robin Armstrong, our NC Pre-K specialist, and Ms. D. Craven, NC Pre-K specialist here at the partnership. Again, we commend them for such a wonderful job. When you hear about applications being done and completed, these are the ladies that are working hard behind the scenes to make sure that our children are served. And we thank you all for helping to lay the foundation for our 4-year-olds to make sure they have a healthy start in life, that their families are helped, and we're able to provide resources to them. We greatly appreciate you all for all of the hard work that you've been doing and that you continue to do.
Thank you, Lamisha. You do a great job too. Thank you for what you do.
Absolutely. If there aren't any other, just checking back through on the comments, we don't see any other comments at this time, but we did put in there again that you will begin taking applications for the 2021-2022 school year beginning January the 6th.
Yes.
Okay. And we just encourage everyone, we will keep you updated on our Facebook page and on our website for any other pre-K updates. Stay tuned to us. And again, we thank you for your time this morning. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.